Hello, this is Golopudai, Black Jester, Black Jester Matters, and I am, going to talk about Gab. I got this thing on the screen right now. I've never done this before. I'm not sure I'll keep on doing it before. Commission Jiggy Frog, as the episode is called. It's 19. It's called Frogging with Gab. Frogging on Gab. How's that? Frogging on Gab. And I should probably type it up so I might forget. Frogging on Gab. I wish they used the frog theme a little more again. Had that croaking when the notifications came up. Maybe that's what people laughed for. But anyway, there are a lot of people all wrong, completely wrong about Gab, and I'll explain why. Now there it says, no lewd or obscene, sexually explicit, pornographic. Now, pornographic, porno actually refers to any extreme love, like car video, like car magazines and stuff like that. That's, how people say, that's my pornography. Yeah. So the term pornography is a very vague one in reality. Porno, if you use the porno vernacular, then you pretty much have the exact term, because that's kind of owned by that thing. Anyway, let's start here. Pornography. The industry is not necessarily a free speech industry. Like, let's say, when they attacked people like Carrera or for Gamergate, or they attacked or went after Miss Ames and stuff like that, the industry, there were some people who did individually defend her, but largely it was the industry failed these people who just wanted to have their own point of view. Now I'm just saying, and they also don't stand up for free speech when it comes to people's opinions, like when or Vox Apocalypse or whatever. You don't see the porn industry going, hey, wait a minute, you can't censor them. They don't do that. So we're going to have to look at it that way, and the goes around, comes around type deal. They don't. There's some people, like some of the stars, who are insistent on woke bullshit, like James Dean, and people like that, who also very big on pushing and enforcing the idea of making Israel a key important thing. Now, and I'm not saying the industry's Jewish, actually, because neo-Nazis and biker gangs that are rather white supremacy do take a huge interest in porno. That's certainly true as well. So there's no correlation between point of view and on extreme levels and so on necessarily, but there's a huge. There are two girls that did a video about Gab, and I'll link that to the description. Because I don't think I should put it up there right now. They're lovely young ladies. But here's the thing, it's not a video platform. Like, we should complain about YouTube, maybe, but if they want to process credit cards, which is a really necessary thing, it gets very difficult for pro platforms to accept. Now, when it comes to this is user-generated stuff. This isn't stuff you link there. This is the stuff you create yourself. Like if it's a third-party thing, they don't seem to have a rule for it. But here's the thing. The other side of the things is that it protects political nudity and so on in the same breath. It doesn't include nudity of protest and stuff. And what this guy in Gab did is he's actually made porno a political defense against what his point of view is and what the point of view of a lot of other people are about banning it and stuff like that. So that's also a point of view thing. He's also wrong in the sense that he says they are enforcing the First Amendment, and the courts have said that pornography countless times is protected under the First Amendment. It's not necessarily speech, but it's still somehow. I don't know how that works, but I'm guessing it's because they use dialogue and they use write-ups on the side of women in magazines and stuff like that. So where there are words, there is speech, and therefore, if it was total silence and or just moaning and fucking, I guess it would be a different story. I mean, I guess if you don't allude to the insertion, maybe that doesn't work. It also gives people a chance to fornicating in public on the video on Gab to protest their point of view. It does open it up to that, and that would fall under nudity as a protest. Now, it's also foolish because, I mean, a lot of girls I've noticed, and I look into these things, they complain about the free availability of porno oversaturating the market, and that's actually what I word it better, but this is becoming a problem. Like Rebecca Lord and stuff saying pay for their porno and stuff like that, and people just don't want to because they don't have to, because people are posting it everywhere, and it's postable everywhere on Twitter and everywhere. They use Twitter too, but they try to use it on their own level. My dog's home. On their own thing, and so they even try to have their own exclusive setups, like join up things like OnlyFans and mini videos and stuff like that, so they can. So unlike Twitter, they can have a little bit of control over things. And if Gab really wants to help kill porno, he can just open it up more to porno. So in a sense, Gab is helping it. As far as the principle of freedom of speech, well, it's a discussion forum. So, I mean, if you're going to talk about porn, you're going to get away with it. There's no upload you could possibly make on Gab that would be pornographic. that would really, I mean, really help. I mean, there really isn't even a need for that rule. But, I mean, it's just a political statement, really. Originally, I didn't even notice it because I thought it'd be further up where it says prohibited. It's not in the prohibited part, which is kind of weird. Because I guess and unlike most platforms, this is very well described and explained and detailed. There's a definition of it, like unlike the hate rules and stuff like that. There's a definition here. There's a reason. There's an exception clause. There's everything. It's very well written. Not perfectly written. I mean, I would have included some other things. I got a Gap post. I'll put that here too. That I put to Torba about all of this. I also think people are really unfair about this whole thing towards him and Gab, and I see that people seem to have instigated most of the hostility, and he was returning in kind. I mean, and it's a small business, it's a private business, it's not even a public company, like YouTube is a public company, and so on. It's oddly enough, the more investors he gets, he'll probably become a bigger dick. Who knows? But you know, he's a new father, so he's getting a little paranoid about what his kid might see and stuff like that. Oh, what if I'm not a good parent? You know, that sort of thing. And it's like comedians. Comedians get really soft too when they become parents. It's a sad, sad thing. They go completely laundromat. It's like It's but he's not. He I wouldn't elect this guy anywhere because he'll probably will ban stuff. But he's good here, and the reason for that is you can have an argument about keeping porn illegal on Gab. No one's going to put you out for that. You can you can argue with him day and night on it too. No one's going to put you out on that. I mean, if you start threatening people like him and so on, that might be a problem. That might cause you problems, but I don't know. I think there's some value in people putting their evil plots on social media personally because, well, if you do actually do it, there's no body, no crime, right? So if there's no proof a crime even happened, then the threat never really mattered. So you still need a crime. And what you'd have here, I think that should probably have like you should be able to send certain accounts to a publicly visible evidence locker, part of the social network, so everyone can see what they mean, and people can be aware of it, and know that it was justly removed or even debated, and satisfy cops and stuff like that who want to investigate it. And that's the important thing. I mean, these people, if they put their plots up there, they say I'm going to go out there and shoot them and stuff like that on social media, the cops can be ready for it. Tell the cops this has happened. Tell them. Tell them that made a threat. Show them the threat. Keep the threat on there so they don't know the cops know. So when they go and do it, they can get caught. That's a beauty. That's beauty of free speech and stuff like that. People get too comfortable with this stuff. They blurt out what they're gonna do, and well, they hurt themselves more in their plots more than anything. Unless, of course, they're stupid about it. I mean, the FBI were supposedly watching 4chan day and night, but they didn't know the shooter was going out. I mean, it's like ridiculous. I mean, apparently they're always watching, but they see nothing until the shooting happens. I mean, it's like they were saying, maybe it's better if it happens. But it's like saying someone bought a gun, so therefore they're a criminal. No, they're not necessarily a criminal just because they bought a gun. Just because they own a gun, that doesn't make them a criminal. No body, no crime. No body, at least running away from the hoodlum, no crime. I mean, that sort of thing, right? You need need the event to happen in order for there to actually be an event to worry about or think. You can't prevent it. You can't prevent anything from happening because that requires time travel and some other science fiction shit like mind reading. And there's just very little reliable about that stuff, even if it is real. Or if Ventura, I'm not sure if Ventura is convinced there's time travel, but he did a whole thing on that. I missed that show. It's kind of nice. Was it True TV or something? Now, Hadley, the guy who rails on as an anti-thought guy, the quartering dipshit. I agree with him on a few things and stuff like that, but he's overly dramatic a lot of the time. So he's more like a clown to watch now and then. But I kind of like giving him a chance because he's not a pro or anything. He had his limited resources, not a mainstream media type guy and stuff like that. So he's going to make a few good points from there. He's too big on getting back to the old villains of his past, and it's largely one-trick pony, basically, I guess. But That's not the most important thing. The important thing is he's attacking thoughts all the time. So he can get these broads off Twitter and Twitch. He wants them off Twitch. He's supporting the mixer dress code. I mean, Gab isn't telling ladies to dress like Victorian age lasses. Gab's not telling women how to dress. But he said, "Oh, I'm gonna follow Ninja the Mixer." And then later on, "Oh, I can't stand Gab. They banned porn. Porn that can't even be published on the platform anyway because it's not too, they're usually too big and stuff like that. I mean, at most you get a tit jiggle video and so so you just post vote. Right? You just post a vote on your belly or something. That short little video, less than a minute video, will probably work out just fine. But you know, if you're gonna want to go BitChute or maybe Float. I don't know how much you can upload to Float. It's Float's still a mystery, but Float.app is worth checking out. But it's sort of designed like Gab is, with brighter image background. YTstreaming.com, which is the main platform I'm putting this on right now. It's very brand new. I'm the only one using it right now, but I have it open to other users, at least until the bandwidth starts getting crazy. Then I might have to try to fundraise to keep it open. Eventually the host will want me to get at least move it or something like that. I might move it to Bluehost, I don't know, and then get a dedicated on there because I got 2 years in the fat cow thing, and I'm finding things so irritating. The FFmpeg thing isn't possible. There's no encoding time for YTstreaming.com. It's called Your Truth Streaming. But it's the main link to this video, so anyway, yeah, and Minds is no darling. I mean, Minds wants you to put an NSFW after an opinion or a joke. Now, I'm not kidding. There's a video I'm going to put down on the bottom there with Cullen, with the Computing Forever, where he gets interviewed, and he does a very good interview, no holds barred, on this Minds head who wants opinions on it. He really wants to control opinions. But Jeremy Hambley of the Quartering is just fine with Minds the way they are. Yeah, I mean, bloody hell. I agree that it's probably better to use the NSFW model for hardcore stuff, nudity. Alright, that isn't protest related anyway. Alright, and I also think that if you have a kid on social media or on the computer at all without parental authority wavering over its head, you're a shitty parent, and it's on you what the kid sees. I don't think we should kowtow to shitty parents or parents who are afraid they might be too shitty. As far as porn goes, it's like Billie Holiday's line, "I've never hurt anybody but myself, and that's my business," and that's how I stand on it personally. There's the other quote I like too is I wasn't fond of Jerry Lewis's comedy, but Jerry Lewis said you could if you raise your kid right, you can take him into a whorehouse and nothing will happen. That was interesting. That was on Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher on ABC just before Disney bought them, I think. It was a long time ago, but it was a long time ago because Jerry Lewis was alive. But anyway, that's certainly true, and that should be true about the internet, of all things. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, how long has porn been on the internet? It's pretty much it was a predominant thing for a long time. Now it isn't. I mean, it used to be the big thing on the internet. Now it's not the biggest thing. Although now, if you run a search for something, any word will bring up a video because there seems to be a fetish for every damn thing, which probably is disturbing. And a lot of these things are really designed for specific MOs too, and stuff like that, or MOs, predilections, and that's a bit weird. Sounding is a terrible. I mean, it's just horrible. I mean, God, I had to have that for a medical procedure. That's ableism, guys. You can get in trouble for urology ableism, anti-urology ableism, hypospadias ableism. I don't know. I'm not a social justice guy. Well, I know the terms usually, but anyway, that's about how I see things generally. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna look at it constructively, Gab is the best. Minds is not the best. Minds is a terrible shame when you see the Computing Forever interview. And the guy wobbles and weebles and waffles as much as possible, but Minds will shut you down too, just as easy as anything else. And YouTube's got this new thing about threats and implied. I mean, I guess we glad they didn't go with. I mean, implied, inferred is more likely to actually end up in something actually happening. Implication. There's no implication. That's ridiculous. Ad hominems are probably the worst things, but I'm sure they're not going to cut people off for calling other people Nazis. No. I think I understand the policy, but for the frequency of things, like when someone keeps on saying you're a fag on the post frequently, or flooding nasty comments, I get that, because that's flooding. Flooding's always been an internet sin since we old fellows on Usenet, the old NNTP news groups. But flooding is a way people shut down websites and stuff like that. It's just DDoS, denial of service. Yeah, so the new YouTube guideline is a terrible thing. But and Gab's had this thing since July, they say. I didn't hear about it when they did it. I wasn't getting their emails. I don't even get it at Google's Gmail, so they can't say, well, it's probably because they're being thrown into the spam folder. But no, not in my case. My case is, I don't even think I have a spam folder. I don't know. Last time I looked. This here anyway. Certainly not one that's needed to be opened. I mean, I just have a list of emails I filter away and stuff, but kind of a useless thing in a sense. People can mask things. But yeah, so frogging on Gab. Yeah, I mean, to have there's no message that Simple fucking does other than there's no message. I mean, there are scripts involved, usually bad, but those are still words. So I guess I don't know if they're probably accepted if you blur the insertion part, and you can say, "Come to my OnlyFans for." That's what you usually do. Is say, "Come to my OnlyFans to," or my videos to get the unblurred version. Let's just call it unblurred because you can't really censor an insertion shot, because an insertion shot, it doesn't say anything. It doesn't make a statement. It's not a joke. It's not a. It's not a. It's not speaking against the people of power. Although, if they do have a bill out planning to ban porn, then it does speak to power. If there are people advocating the political ban of porn, then it does speak to power. So in this case, you might be in the right. And but if he says he's enforcing the First Amendment, you could always get your lawyers involved if he cuts it off. That might be an interesting case. Because the First Amendment, as far as I understand, the courts accept virtual child porn. This is true. Because no body, no crime, right? Corpus delicti. The body. I mean, you don't really want cartoons like Shin Chan blocked because of the elephant dance. I mean, it's like ridiculous. It's very funny. It's a cartoon. I mean, that could be construed as that. I mean, just because there's a. I mean, it's a little creepy how, like, it's volume, right? If there's a certain amount of these things happening, it's a little creepy. And if there's kids fucking whatever, it's creepy. But still, I mean, you can't prove people are wanking to it. Generally speaking, you can't prove people are wanking to it. You call in the cops, and that's a good thing. Yeah. So and Michael Oxley, when he originally tried to bring what became COPPA out, tried to do what Fairbanks wanted, and add adult verifications and all these other things, and the courts knocked it down. So you can't actually have forced adult verification either. And I believe that was under the free speech rules and so on. That stuff doesn't work anyway. I mean, fake IDs are hard enough with bouncers looking at it carefully, much less someone over a computer. I mean, I guess assume if you're a paying customer, you're seeing unblurred stuff, and they have your credit card, I guess, if the company allows it. Right now, I mean, maybe Gab will be able to use PayPal now, which might be a plus, because PayPal seems to have seems to be the ones that have this puritanical attitude about porno. They just took it off Pornhub and stuff like that, and I'm surprised no one's tried to use the Amazon Pay method for these things, Gab and BitChute and stuff like that. Well, I couldn't renew my silver on Gab because BitChute because I wanted to use a credit card. I might have to buy some Ethereal to get it again, but I'm not sure. I mean, the uploader seems to be a pain in the ass to me. And videos have gone missing on my account. I can't deny that either. But I don't think it's malicious that BitChute has these missing videos. But there's something went wrong, and I got to look back into the logs of the past or something and figure it out. Anyway, that's Blood Jester Manners, episode 19. Frogging on Gab. This requires a little more understanding, not knee-jerk reactionary attitudes. People are jumping to the gun. They got personal with Torba and the account, and he's close to a sole owner of this thing. And so it makes more sense that he'd be on his own account, on that account, and not redundancy. Maybe if someone was nicer about it and told him, well, you can get your personal account onto linked together through on so long I haven't used it in a while, on well, you can anyway teach him how he can, run all his Twitter accounts at once. But yeah, I mean, it's weird that he's talking on Twitter about this stuff, but other people are talking about this stuff from Twitter about him and Gab and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it's the only place because there's no reference online I could find of him banning anything in complaints aside from one white supremacist who threatened people, other users, on the platform, which is a clear violation of the rules. Uh, I'm not worried about threats. I've never really flagged anyone for that. The only person I ever flagged was actually making an actual factual error on purpose, frequently on me, and that guy doesn't go there anymore either. Um, he claimed I was. It was about anonymity, and I was thinking, how do you trust an opinion that's anonymous? And he said, you're anonymous. I said, no, I'm not anonymous. One thing, I got a blue check mark, and my accounts are linked to one with a real name on it. I put real names everywhere. What the hell? Guy did not understand the concept of anonymous, and a lot of these people don't understand the concept of anonymous. Anyway, do have a good night, morning, evening, or whenever you're watching this. I don't judge. You can watch this after work, before work, on the way to work, or be listening to it on the way to work anyway. Whatever. I mean, it's a podcast first, I think. Maybe I'll keep making it the video thing, but it's kind of hard to do it. Dog barks at the door and stuff. I don't have soundproof roofs. So. Anyway, I might even put a cell phone recorded version up on. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, where is that thing? This was recording. I didn't hit stop, did I? Oh yeah, it's stop.